Start recording. So for me, inspiration basically means someone who's been through an illness and didn't give up, tried everything possible, not only to save themselves, but also to live their life. They never gave up the will to live. For me, inspiration means when you have a broken relationship, and after you go through a broken relationship, I've muted everyone, so I've also probably muted myself now. Okay. So when you are going through a relationship which is broken, or it couldn't go further, and yet you continued your life, you didn't give up, you didn't make that one person such a big khuda of your life that you, khuda means such a big god in your life that you kind of just couldn't move on. There are people who've lost their children and yet they moved on, and not just moved on, they became an inspiration. Somebody like Nirbhaya's mom, she just didn't sit down inside. She sat down and did something about it. And because of her, I don't know how many girls are going to get justice today. So this is a forum about not giving up. And that's going to be the biggest challenge at times, because when I promote something like saying, don't give up, that probably is going to be the biggest, how do you say, challenge thrown by the universe to me, according to Dr. Kwesi, where there will be umpteen number of places where I would want to give up. So that's what this is about right now. How long can you consistently go on, not because somebody asked you to, but because you felt like living your life to the fullest, and you felt that you were useful, not useless. So Ashwini Yadav is very dear to me, somebody who I've seen in a lot of distress at one point, someone who I feel has completed one milestone in her life. We all are completing constantly, so we can all be inspirational constantly. Uh, to be really honest, Ashwini, I think you've got the guts that I don't have. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to sit here and say, I just gave her one call and said, will you share your life with everyone? And she said yes. And when people say that, they actually move on in their life. They've actually moved on, and so they can talk, or they will move on in their life. So when I first spoke about my abuse, sexual abuse in UK, believe me, my life changed after that. It was never the same again. I have huge gratitude to my husband, who stood by me at that time and actually, you know, encouraged me completely at that point to do whatever I wanted to. You always have a guardian angel behind you. They may not stay as guardian angels for always, but at the time that you really are not knowing what to do, if even one person stands behind you, and I've always said this, when you're beginning to learn how to bicycle, you look back and you look back at someone looking at you and doing this. You look back at someone who will tell you, yes, you can do it. And that someone who can tell you, well, yes, you can do it, makes you, or is very much a bigger part of who you became. So thank you very much, Ashwini, for coming on the show. She is an amazing lady from whom you have a lot to learn. A lady of courage, a lady of grit, a lady of determination, a lady who's gone through a lot, and she will share with you, in her words, her story today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashwini. Welcome you on this place. Let me unmute you. Or you can unmute yourself on that.
Yeah, I have done that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anu ma'am, for inviting me. And well, as you rightly said, that someone in my life is you and my mom, because I think जिस pit hole में मैं थी वहां से बाहर कैसे निकलना है मुझे नहीं पता था. But I started coming for, I joined in to attend Meta Health, and that's how I got introduced to you. And I guess I have never looked back, you know. You've just kind of pulled me out, and here I am in front of everyone sharing my story.
Thank you so much for acknowledging, and please acknowledge yourself because there can be somebody who can give you direction, but walking you have to do. There can be people standing behind you and saying, yes, you can do it, but you actually have to do it. So Ashwini, tell us, how did you actually do it? What did you actually do? Because people are probably eager to know, what is it that you really did? Thank you.
Yeah. So, hi everybody, and let me start by introducing myself. My name is Ashwini Jadhav Bhagat, and I take care of my father's educational institutes in Navi Mumbai, and born in Mumbai but brought up in Delhi and Mumbai. And I was pretty much a princess. My father comes from a very, he made it really big. I come from a political background. So I've always seen the best of life with, traveling along with him. Aage gaadiyan, piche pilot cars, that kind of lifestyle I had seen before my college days. And then, of course, Mumbai happened. In 1993, we shifted to Mumbai from Delhi. And I went to school here, I went to college here, and I pretty much just love this city. From a princess to, we were always, we have been brought up like boys. It was never like your girls. No, it was never like that. My dad has seen the world, and he has been pretty open-minded. And probably that is also one of the major reasons that today I am on my own and I'm completely independent, because it's been a very strong support from my family. So I will start my story now. I was into acting, and I wanted to make a career, which of course I couldn't, because I had to take care of my father's stuff, and that was like one condition that was put by my father, that no matter what, you have to take care of the colleges and institutes. And of course, there are a lot of challenges that an actor goes through, which I was not ready to accept. And I did some amazing plays. I did Hindi theater, and I produced an English play. I produced 2 short films, and then marriage happened. When I was doing my final year, I fell in love with an amazing person, and he is into music. He was like this absolutely dream come true for me. Everything was like a fairy tale for me at that point of time. And 2007, I got married. My father agreed. I married a Gujarati. I'm a Maharashtrian. So for my father, it was a big shock, but he did agree, and he got me married. And it was like a big gaga and a big marriage and all that. Like a good girl, I adjusted in the family, and I completely love my in-laws. Even today, they are more like parents to me. And I have spent 7 beautiful years in my in-laws' house, and a beautiful married life. But as it happens, after having my child, I had Ridhan in 2011, and infidelity, suspicion, everything creeped in. And infidelity, as in unfortunately we all think that physical infidelity, physical attraction towards someone else's infidelity. No, it could also be an emotional form. You just stop sharing things with your loved one or your better half, and you start sharing everything with an outsider, and that also is kind of, in my eyes, infidelity. I don't know till date, and I guess now it doesn't matter. But at that point of time, in 2014 around, so my son was about 3 years old, and my husband was really struggling to make his career. And he decided to work ahead with some lady director, and which I could not tolerate, because somehow I just felt that he was going away from me. Maybe there was something, maybe there was nothing, but yeah, suspicion creeped in, everything fell apart, and finally, in 2014 August, I decided to leave the house. It just didn't feel right that I was a part of that family and that house because of a man I was madly in love with, and I felt somewhere the commitment was broken. And when the commitment was not there, I wanted to just kind of walk out. It was a big deal because things started going bad from December 2013. And before 2014 August, I had walked off twice and gone back. But 2014 August, when I walked off, I never went back. And it was a very, very bad depression. I almost had a nervous breakdown. I was 3 days bedridden after that, and all of that, couldn't eat on my own and all that stuff. So, but it followed. The depression followed till 2016. I think I got connected with Anu ma'am in 2015, towards the end of the year, I guess. I quite don't remember actually now. But that entire period of 2015 was really bad. I have assisted my father in construction, and I'm extremely good with, I did my interior designing also. So I was pretty good with almost everything that I can think of. But during that depression period, I could not understand what the person in front was talking to me. It was insane for me because I did not know to whom I should go and talk, to whom I should tell this. I did not want to share this with my family because they had their own work to take care of, and somewhere the fear was there that they will probably, take some kind of action which may not be correct, or I don't know. It was just too much, and I didn't want to share it. After I did first level of Meta Health, I started kind of getting hold of myself. Of course, there was a lot that Anu ma'am took out of me. I learned to express myself. That was most important for me. I did not know how to express myself. And the biggest problem in life has always been my anger. Everybody is like, no, you have too much of anger. So what I feel is that anger is just a part of expression. Well, today I can say that time I could not. So I did not know how to express myself. I went through very, very bad phase. But now, 2018, we took a divorce, and I have made peace with my husband, and he is now my best friend. And yes, it takes a lot. It takes a lot because all the memories come back, and there will be flashes in front of you, but we have made peace. We have a son. We have to bring him up together. It was very easy for me to just kind of disconnect from the entire family because I'm independent. I have my own house, my own car, everything. I work on my own. I earn on my own. But I did not choose that. It was my choice because I wanted to make sure that my son gets best of both the worlds. I did not want to deprive my son of his father's love and care. And this initiative also I took. I went, I spoke to his father, and I told him that let us be friends now. Now we are divorced. I have nothing to do with you. You don't have anything to do with me. But we have a son. We have to raise him together. So let's raise him together. And I'm sure that he also went through a lot. It's something that we females forget to acknowledge when a relationship falls apart. We just go in the whole blame game, and I think I'm lucky that I got myself out of that blame game. So we made peace with each other, and today we are very, very good friends. And I think I just totally love my life the way it is right now. um, I don't know what more to say.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions that brought a little tears in my eyes, because I know of many women who've been through what you've gone through, but I don't see all of them coming out of this place of unempowerment to empowerment the way you did. So, what do you think are the main tools that are required by people? What do you think is required during this journey of when your heart breaks so badly, when people don't connect? What do you think now, when you look at it, what do you think is required? What are the tools that people must have? Thank you.
One thing is, we need to believe in ourselves first. We need to love ourselves first, which is most important. If you have these two tools in your hands, the belief and the trust in your own self, you will always, always fight it out. No matter whatever the situation, whether it is your workplace, whether it's molestation, whether it is your marriage, whatever it could be. But self-belief and self-trust is the most important thing. Trusting that I will do whatever it takes to make sure that I'm at peace.
And how does the peace, if you were to metaphorize peace, Ashwini, how does that peace sound to you? What really is peace? Because people don't know what is peace.
Peace is when, I would say, when you can breathe.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't feel choked in a house, when you don't feel choked in a relationship, when you don't feel choked in a workplace, and you're breathing, you're being yourself, that is peace.
And when did you start choking in the relationship? When did you realize that you were choking?
I guess pretty much from the time I got married.
Wow.
Because from Maharashtrian family, I went to a Gujarati family and I adjusted. And, you know, adjusting itself is, I feel, you know, at that point of time, I adjusted. But today I feel maybe I was choking from inside and I did not realize it.
So what kind of adjustments did you make?
I am an Astic, not literally, but yeah, I am an Astic. For me, God, there is a power in the universe. Of course, I pray to Ganpati Bappa. I follow his principles, but doing a daily regular puja is not my thing. Cooking, no ways. I mean, I'm not a great fan of cooking. I learned everything. I used to do everything. And completely from being in a nuclear family to going in a joint family was a big deal for me. And that was a big adjustment for me, you know, just being restricted to having only one room as my space.
So did you feel constricted or restricted because space changed, the rules changed, the number of people in your life changed, the kind of food that you ate changed, how you prayed to God changed?
No, I felt restricted. I did not feel constructed.
Okay, so you didn't feel expanded, you felt like shrinking.
There was a contraction. Yes, I felt I was shrinking.
Now, would that contraction be because of marriage, or was that contraction, according to you, because of adjustment? Or is it like two things are same?
No, I think it was more because of adjustment. Because I'm very much, like I'm a person, I'm a very energy sensitive person. So for me, I pick up very quickly on other people's energy, and I generally like to be on my own. I don't like too many people around. And there it was like, we were in a joint family, so of course there were a lot of people.
Yeah. Wow. And so you were, what did you do when you couldn't adjust? What are the things? I hope you don't mind me asking you questions, because I'm sure these are the questions people would want to know.
Yeah, no, I don't mind you asking me any questions. I mean,
Thank you.
it's something that maybe, because I don't really do these talks. It's the first time. Today is my first day I'm doing this
Never
kind of
know.
a.
You never know where this takes you. Um,
So,
so really,
yeah, sorry.
what kind of adjustments were you doing? And how were
So
they feeling to you?
actually, I think more than anything else, maybe it was not even the adjustment with the family, but it was like the man I knew had changed, and somewhere for everything he used to say yes. I mean, I wanted him to express himself as well, but that did not happen. And for everything it was like, okay, and for everything he would ask me, and I was like, okay, you can take a call, yeah, why you asking me? um uh, I mean, जो हम लोग दिन में मूवी देखने जाते थे वो अब हम रात में जाने लग गए थे. दिन में किसी के पास टाइम ही नहीं था. I was working, he was working, and we just seemed to have no space of our own.
It takes a lot of work on yourself even to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure when you were going through it, you couldn't have figured so much out.
No, I had no idea what was going on with me, and I was always like, I was like this, जैसे घोड़ा होता है तो एक ही ट्रैक पे एक ही डायरेक्शन में जाने का ऐसा. I was that kind of a person.
Is there any tip that you would give to people who are into inter-religion, interracial, internationality marriages? Is there anything that they need to really look at, or is love enough?
I think someone asked that some question actually. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead. Beautiful sharing, Jyoti says. You can read the chat if you want.
No,
Can you say how long did it take for you to take the decision that you choose to live on your own instead of being in the marriage?
Actually, when I walked out, I had no idea that I would actually not be going back. It was, I thought maybe, things might fall in place. I didn't have any idea, but yes, after I walked out of that place in 2014, in 2017, 2016, by 2016 end, I was pretty sure that I'm not going back, because it was not meant for me and I did not want to be there. So yes, I made that decision, say about 2 years.
How difficult was a divorce?
Very difficult.
Can you talk about it, please? Because a lot of people think divorce is a very easy thing.
No, it was very difficult. It was extremely difficult, and no matter whoever supports you, it's the toughest thing. In fact, that day I still remember, 19th of March 2017 or 2018. Yeah, I actually wore the sari that I had wore during my wedding day, and I actually got completely dressed up and I went to the courtroom, and I did not care what people would think, and I was the only one dressed up like as if I'm going for a marriage. dressed. Everybody was in their, the lawyers, they're wearing their coats and white saris and all. And I went like that. And that was my mindset. I just could not believe. And even that day in the courtroom, I was hoping that my husband would say, let's not do it. If you want, you can stay apart, but let's not go through a divorce. Even when I was in front of the judge, I actually kept hoping that he would say, no, let's just stop here. But hope is hope. It didn't happen. And it was tough. I took 1 year to get out of it. And that day, I, of course, somewhere you feel relieved. So you go out, you enjoy and all that. But inside, you know that a part deep inside is hurt. And to heal that hurt, it takes little long. You have to work on yourself no matter what. You have to have that faith that this is my life, this is my journey, and I am the driver of this journey. I will drive it in the direction that I want. What purpose you have, what purpose you don't have, no, nothing matters. What matters is you. When every single person who is attending today, I would just say that what matters is you and your journey and what you feel. You are not responsible for the person who is next to you or anyone on this earth. Yes, children, because we are supposed to take care of them, we are supposed to guide them, but you are responsible for your own emotions. I'm not saying that other people cannot come and, they will come and not hurt you and you should not get hurt. No, that will not happen. We are human. We do react. And there are reactions that people give us which are hurtful. But just believe in yourself. And this, whatever you feel is a choice that you're making to feel. Today I can sit down here and I can actually cry about it. Oh my God, मेरी तो दुनिया लुट गई है, मेरे पास कोई भी नहीं है, मैं completely अकेली हूँ, एक घर है, एक बच्चा है, मैं कैसे अपनी इतनी बड़ी जिंदगी गुजारूंगी, अभी तो सिर्फ 40 साल की हूँ. I can sit and cry about it. But that's not the choice I make. It does not mean that I don't go in that pit hole. I do. Even today, I get into depression. But today, I know how to pull myself out of it. Instead, I choose to live in gratitude. I am thankful to the universe that I'm blessed with an amazing son. I'm blessed with amazing parents. I'm blessed that I have this independence. I have independence in thinking, making judgments, doing analysis, making my own decisions, taking my own stands, which I don't know how many people actually do. You are always like, especially women who are into marriage, they are always fearful कि मैं ये stand लूं या नहीं लूं. ये इससे मेरे पति को हर्ट होगा या उसको तकलीफ हो जाएगी, मेरी मदर इन लॉ को हर्ट हो जाएगा, मेरे फादर इन लॉ को हर्ट हो जाएगा, नहीं हम इस सोसाइटी में रहते हैं. I agree to everything, but be honest to your own self. That is very, very important. Please. Forget about the whole world. Just be honest to your own self. अगर आप अपने आप को आईने में देख के ये बोल सको ना कि yes, Ashwini, I love myself and I am proud of myself where I am today, then I think you are having the best life.
Jyoti Lalwani is saying that you have a very influential family. How tough was it to go through the society and family pressure to make marriage successful? Was there any pressure to make this marriage successful?
ज्योति जी, एक्चुअली मेरे लिए इतना टफ नहीं था, even though I am from an influential family, and yes, practically none of my relatives, my uncles and all, they don't talk to me. because for them it's a big taboo that हमारे घर की बेटी वापस आ गई and all that. In fact, I come, my uncles and all, they are like, you know, औरत मतलब अपने limits में रहने का and all that kind of thoughts they have. But because my parents are very strong, and my mother always told me that it's your decision. In fact, I did not ask my mother whether I should take a divorce or not. The day I was going for a divorce, I called her and I told her that today I'm going and my divorce is going to get granted. And she was shocked. Of course, she's a mother. She called up, she cried, sab kuch hua, but she said, whatever decision you take, I am there with you. And today also, maybe somewhere my family cannot, because they see me and my husband having such a good tuning when it comes to our son, somewhere they may not be thinking that, you know, that I may have another man in my life or something like that. I mean, which today I don't have, but yes, I do look forward to it. Why not? It's a long life to live. बहुत लंबी journey है. So no, it was not that tough. I'm a very strong person and I took a stand, Jyoti ji. I just clearly took a stand, and when it comes to my emotions, I really guard them. I'm very, very particular about it, and I do not give anyone the right to hurt me or to demean me or to degrade me. So anybody who I feel is degrading me, I kind of just tell them that thank you for whatever you are saying, but that's not my reality.
Wonderful. Smita writes that you're a brave girl. Kudos to your journey. Tejinder Kaur is saying, brave, so true. You need to be in peace and with yourself and not to worry about what others think. It is hard and difficult to take such a decision. Jyoti is saying 3 cheers to you. God bless you for your journey. You inspire. Okay. I have 2 more questions for you, Ashwini, actually, before you go off, because this is an opportunity for everyone. How many years did it take you to get okay?
It took me at least 4 to 5 years to actually get back to what I was before marriage and before separation.
Right. Any message that you would like to give, and what was your learning in this 4 or 5 years? You said you worked a lot on yourself. What did you understand about yourself? Thank you.
I think one thing that I understood is, I mean, these are 2 different things. So the message would be different and what I understood about myself would be different. I would first like to say the message. If you have any kind of situation, or if you're going through a very, very rough marriage or a rough relationship, it could be with anyone, your parents or your husband or your boyfriend or anything. Hold your own hand. It's very important. Hold yourself and tell yourself that I am there with myself, no matter what. It's very important. As much you can take care of your own self, no second person can come in your life and take care of you. It's you, and have that confidence that yes, I will take care of myself. The universe works in mysterious ways. You just believe in it and it will come to you. And I have experienced it. So this is the message I would like to give everyone here, that believe in yourself. Whatever thoughts you have, whatever you feel that this is the stand I should take it. The world may seem to fall apart for a while, but when it gets back together, it's going to be such a strong one that you will be very, very happy. And one thing that I learned about myself in all these years, and of course I forgot to mention one very important thing, that In 2014, when I actually left my husband's house, twice it happened that I actually wanted to commit suicide.
Thank you for
And
sharing that.
yeah, I actually didn't mention that. I forgot. So it happened twice. Once I tried to hang myself with the fan, which of course it happened because my son was there that time and he just suddenly started crying. And I was like, oh shit, what am I doing? Second time I was planning to jump out of the window and I went near the window and somehow I just stopped myself. And I was like, okay, what am I doing? And why am I doing this? And I called up my best friend and I spoke to her. And yeah, so it happened twice that I wanted to kill myself. I actually wanted to quit. I wanted to go off somewhere far. That has happened multiple times. But my son kept me going. So one thing that I learned about myself is that I am very, very strong. I'm stronger than I could ever think. I never knew this part of me.
So you're strong because you didn't give up your life, or you're strong because you went through and didn't give up at all?
Yes, I think I'm strong because I went through everything and I did not give up. I did not give up, and um, the universe guided me. Universe made sure that there are people like you and my mother in my life who stand by me whenever I need. And whenever I am down in the dumps, it doesn't matter whether I'm in touch with you or not, but you always, always, always get connected with me. I think it's such a strong connection.
Uh, you said something very significant, and that's the last question, and I will not trouble you after that. Um, I'm trying to remember. You were saying that you didn't give up. So the question that's really jumping in is, what was that last thought that stopped you from committing suicide, actually doing it?
Uh, the last thought, actually, I don't remember, but I just remember that I asked myself question that what am I doing? And then it was, of course, that what was that about suspicion about your husband? I didn't get that.
Was it really true at the end of the day?
Well, very honestly, uh, I don't know whether it is true or not, but yeah, one thing that I can say very loud and clear was that he had started lying, and that was a big deal for me because our marriage was based on honesty. And one thing that was very important to me was that no matter whatever you do, even if you are having an affair, just come and tell me. I don't want to know it from a third person. And I started getting to know that he's been spotted with someone over some different places than what he was telling me. So yeah, that was the suspicion. And of course, I mean, those days are such, and that suspicion is such that you believe it at that point of time. But today, if you ask me, I don't know. And maybe even if he did have an extramarital affair, I think today it just doesn't matter.
Thank you. Takes a lot to say that.
Yeah, yeah. And thank you, Tarpana, that was, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why am I missing out? That's actually kuch gadbad hai, but theek hai, no problem.
I think I did ask you something. I've forgotten what I asked you, but
You were asking me what was that last thought that actually stopped me
yeah,
from
yeah.
from committing suicide. So one very important thing was, first I asked myself a question, what am I doing? It was just, when I reached there, I could see my son in front of my eyes. And the next thing was I could see my parents in front of my eyes. And I was like, no, I cannot put my own people through all this just because I am not able to deal with my hurt or my loss.
Okay, I would like you to end the session with saying something when during the lockdown, how has it been for you? And what have you understood during the lockdown? Because it's practically everything, life has come to a pause completely for people and for you too.
Yeah, so actually, all these years, I was so busy working that I did not actually dare to deal with my innermost emotions. That hurt was still there. That hurt was still there even after, layers हो जाते हैं emotions के हमारे दिल में. और हमको लगता है कि okay, I have healed myself, but it started showing up, it started popping up, and um, and it's pretty strange, but yeah, I give a lot of credit to my ex-husband also, because he understood that I was going through some kind of realization and emotional outburst. So when I had emotional outburst during the lockdown, this was, I think, after a month of lockdown. I had a really bad emotional outburst and I screamed badly at my son, and I fought with everybody. And when he when he asked me, I actually blasted at him also. And I'm like, why the hell are you even asking me when you don't care? But he patiently, I mean, he understood and he did not react to it. And after 2 days, of course, we laughed over it. But what has come to my understanding is deal with your emotions. Don't run away from them. We have a habit of running away from emotions, not running away from problems. That's actually a very wrong notion. People think we are running away from problems, we are running away from relationships. No, we are running away from our own emotions because we cannot accept. Acceptance is the key to everything in life. The minute you accept, everything gets sorted in your world. It is a very big deal for me to take care of a house by myself, to cook. I have never done it all by myself, but I'm doing it. And it was acceptance. And I am equally excited even now. अगर एक केक अच्छे से बेक हो गया तो अभी भी फोटो क्लिक करके बिल्कुल सबको भेजूंगी मैं. But acceptance is the key. And don't give up on relationships if they are not working. Make them work. It's a very long journey, and you don't realize, but in your ego, in your so-called self-esteem, you end up losing out on a person whom you love the most, or on a life that probably would have become more beautiful. So don't give up on yourself and don't give up on your relationships.
Okay.
Work on.
What does this mean actually? Don't give up means what? And
Don't
that's where we'll end. That's where we'll end. But really, don't give up means what?
Don't give up means कि मैं यहाँ नहीं रह सकती, मैं ये नहीं कर सकती, ये मुझसे नहीं होगा, तुम ऐसे हो, तुम वैसे हो, नहीं मैं यहाँ नहीं रह सकती, ये नहीं कर सकते. Don't give up in any way. Don't get into depression. I mean, you will get into depression. See, I mean, on an average, I guess every other human being is at least 10% in depression. But pull yourself out. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful life. And we are creators. We are creators. For women, we are the most amazing creators. We can create babies. And for men, I think we are creators. We create businesses. We have so much that we have to still give out to the world, and we still have to accept so much that the world is offering to us.
Ashwini, I was said this was the last question, but the last one.
Yeah.
And the last one is, does intelligence help? You know, some people think that, oh, you're very educated, so you should not feel like this. Some people think, oh, you have got a lot of money, so you shouldn't feel like this. Some people think, oh, you have a lot of support from your parents, so you shouldn't be like this. Some people might think that you are more wise, more knowledgeable, so you shouldn't think like this. Some people might look at and say, oh, she's so beautiful, so she shouldn't think like this. Can this happen to anyone? Or is there a criteria to who it cannot happen and it should not happen?
There are no criterias.
Thank you.
Everything can happen to everyone on this earth.
Yes.
And I firmly believe that no, money is not everything. If I didn't have support from my parents, if I wouldn't have been financially independent, still I would have taken this stand. Because for me, I am important. My mental peace is extremely important. So it can happen to anyone. And I personally know so many marriages. There are so many friends and relatives who are into the marriage because they find it difficult to give up. They find it difficult to deal with their own self. So they just choose to be in the marriage. My point is, be in the marriage. I'm not saying you just walk off. No, you don't need to. But you have to tell your partner that I am not going to tolerate this, and learn your ways to deal with it. Your mental peace is your choice, your priority, your responsibility. It does not depend on your partner.
Thank you.
You know, I have a dog, and I would like to share this. I have a dog, and she keeps barking whenever there is someone on the floor. But when she's barking, I have a choice whether to pay attention to her or to pay attention to my work that I'm doing. She cannot define my mental sanctity. That does not mean relationships should be treated like dogs, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is, no matter whatever is happening in anybody's world, no matter whatever your partner is doing, your mental peace, your space, your mental space is your own. It's a choice you are making whether to let it affect or not to affect.
Also, when you tell people that such a thing is happening, some will advise you to get out of marriage, some will advise you to stay in marriage. And people can get influenced by that. I think it has to be your own individual decision. What do you say, Ashwini?
Yes, I absolutely agree. No matter whatever advice whoever gives, understand one thing, that you are there. It's only you who can decide for yourself, because what you are, you know better than any third person. Nobody else can give you any decision in life, and you cannot allow anybody else to make that decision for you. It's your decision. It's your life which is going to get affected. It is your daily routine. आज सुबह जब मैं उठूंगी तो मेरे बाजू में मेरा पार्टनर होगा कि नहीं होगा, ये तुम्हारा डिसीजन है. ये कोई तीसरा बंदा आके नहीं बोल सकता, अरे ये तो ऐसा है तो तुम इसको छोड़ दो, या ये तो ऐसा है चलो तुम एक्सेप्ट कर लो. It's a choice you have to make.
Thank you. So I would like to open the forum if anybody has any question, because I think I've really asked her, and she's been very transparent, and you can all hear her authenticity. You can hear that this is a talk from the heart. And if any one of you want to share anything like that on this forum, connect with me. But I want you to get it. This is not the place where you talk from your head. This is a place where you talk from your heart, because this is what connects.
I'm pretty. Thank you very much for wonderful session, Amita. Yeah, thank you, Amita, for joining.
Yeah. Anybody who would like to unmute and ask a question, please put your hand, raise your hand up, and I will, because we will have Binay first reading after this, and then I will do my session.
Hello.
Anybody? Yes, go ahead. Seema, go ahead. Ask the question.
Ashwini, hi. Seema here.
You?
Ashwini is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
We have known each other for a while now, but I have never known this part of her life. I chose never to ask her such personal questions. And thanks, Ashwini, for sharing your story. And you've been amazingly transparent. But something that always crossed my mind, and I'm really sorry to ask you this question on this forum, because I
You
think of you
don't have
every.
stories. You have tried with me.
So I'll come to the question directly. Is that I have seen the both of you, okay? Because our kids go
Yeah.
to the same school, both
Yes.
our kids, just for everybody else who's listening. So I have
Yeah.
seen these guys. I have seen how beautifully they raise their son, and their son is a wonderful human being, a very beautiful soul, and they're so aligned when it comes to raising their son. So sometimes I feel that, you know, there was a past, there were misunderstandings. We don't know what was it true, false? Sometimes some person falters in the relationship. Do you think there are chances of reconciliation even after going through a divorce? Because if you have the ability to be such great friends today and be able to have, like you just explained, even in the lockdown, the person who did come to your rescue was your ex-husband. So it I always had this question in my mind that, Ashwini, do you think it's still possible? Because I keep thinking about this all the time. So
So,
if it is.
I'm glad you asked me this question, and definitely I want to answer it, especially on this forum, because I'm sure there might be a lot of people who might be going through some similar things, or their relatives might be going through some similar things like this. So, the problem is, uh, we human beings are naturally pretty connected, and a reconciliation sometimes becomes difficult because the past does not leave you. See, it is easy today. We can be friends because we know practically we are not together. Legally, we are divorced. We know there are no strings attached except for the fact that we have a son. And it was a conscious, and of course, he has also worked on himself, and he has done a lot of healing, and he is on same page as me. If you ask me if there would have been anybody else, maybe this wouldn't have been possible. But because he's on the same page, and when I talk to him about something,
Mm-hmm.
he just gets it.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided consciously to put our past and whatever bad years of our life was, to put it behind and access our friendship, which we had much
Mm-hmm.
before our marriage. So no, I don't think reconciliation
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
possible. In my case, at least, I don't know. There might be people for whom it is possible. But yeah, I mean, I think two people who have been married for so long and who have had an association for more than 14 years can be good friends if you keep your ego aside.
Mm-hmm.
Ego.
Hi, Priya.
Yes. Okay, anybody else? That was a wonderful question. Priya has written beautiful words for you, Ashwini. Hello, Ashwini, ma'am. Thank you for your bravery. Such strength to you. You are being guiding not to give up. And then why did you give up? I don't think
Thanks,
you
Priya.
gave up.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good question, because what happens is also, I think, after we have a child, we go through postpartum. What is that called, Anu ma'am?
Postpartum blues.
Postpartum blues,
What
which can from
Postpartum depression.
yeah, postpartum depression, which can last from 6 months to maybe 6 years or 10 years. So I did not want to give up. I was really not keen on giving up, but somewhere, whatever was going on between me and my husband, even though we were living in separate houses, that was affecting my son. And I wanted my ex-husband to be normal with our son and to get connected with him, because my son was missing him. So I thought maybe a divorce might help him to become normal, and it was me who suggested it. Somewhere also, um, sometimes when something is not meant for you. It's not about giving up always. Sometimes something is not meant for you and you don't want to be there.
So
So
Priya,
I was very
Priya,
about that.
according to me, giving up would be if she had really taken up her life and she wasn't there. She
Yeah.
hasn't given up on any of her responsibility. She has, in fact, understood that this is not working for her, and so she's moved on. That's different from giving up.
I had a choice actually,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
have a different life.
Mhm.
I'm still connected with my in-laws, and we still love each other a lot. They still support me. I'm still connected with my ex-husband. If I wanted to give up, I could have actually even given up. I did not need to actually connect with him.
So let me make this very clear for many, many people who are sitting there. Even if you did not connect, it doesn't mean you have given up. Giving up means when you take your own life and you do not move ahead in your life at all. Giving up means if she had really hung herself on that day with the fan, then there was no marriage, there was no understandings, there was nothing there. It was finished, it was done. That was the end of that chapter. That hasn't happened here. You give up, your job goes and people give up. Your money goes, people give up. And they think about giving up their life. This whole episode where everything got closed, people are thinking of taking up their lives and suicides went up. We're talking about not giving up means you are becoming more and more sensitive to yourself that, life is precious.
Yeah, and also I would like to mention one thing, that it also depends, what kind of a person you have had in your life. Because in my case, leaving out whatever happened between us, otherwise he's an amazing human being. He's not a bad person. So there was no reason for me to kind of give up on otherwise on the other part of it, whatever we are living today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ashwini, for that amazing, amazing insights. And I invite Benifer right now. And if you have any question, you can write down. If you have any question, you can write down, raise your hand. Tick, tick 1, tick, tick 2, tick, tick 3. Last chance, guys, to ask a question. Otherwise, I'm going to Benifer next. Okay, Vasavi. Ask a question. Vasavi, unmute yourself and ask.
Yes, hello. So I'd first like to say thank you for the wonderful sharing. It was really, really inspiring. And the question I had was, would you ever say that you went through a period where you felt any guilt, or you felt like everything went wrong because of something you did? And maybe that, so you reached, so when you say you reached peace, you maybe reached a space where you weren't blaming yourself or even blaming the other person, and you were able to say things just happened. Like, was that a difficult phase, a difficult part for you to maybe get out of?
So there are two questions, Ashwini. She's asking you, did you ever feel guilty? And did peace mean that you got out of guilt?
Thank
you. So yes, of course, I went through a lot of guilt. And there was a time when I was blaming myself for everything. And I thought that, no, I did everything wrong. And I did the wrong thoughts and this, that, and whatever, I was just like, I was feeling very guilty for whatever happened. But yes, and I worked on it, and because I have done Meta Health, and because I made this conscious choice to work on myself, it helped me to get myself out of that guilt.
Okay.
It's very important that we work on our own self, before we, and blame game is something that we do actually with ourselves. So instead of blaming our own self, कि ये मेरी वजह से हुआ है, if you just accept it, okay, this is the time I made this choice, and fine, these are the reactions, these are the consequences, and now I will deal with it. I need to, I should, no, I will deal with it. The more you make it full of effort that, oh, I should do this, I have to do this, it becomes tight and difficult to handle. The more you have ease with your own self, and that ease will show everywhere in your life. I'm very much at ease today. If I have an anger blast, or I do something wrong, I don't feel guilty about it. Yes, I acknowledge it. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done this. This was wrong. The consequences are not the way I wanted them. So fine, let me correct myself. So next time I will not do it this way. So that ease with your own self is very important. It starts here and it ends here. It's our
Thank you so much. That's really helpful. Yeah.
Very good. Anybody else asking question?
Anu, I have written.
Yes. Please read it out. Thank you.
Yes. Nutan here, I would like to know how do you handle the loneliness which comes after all these things? Because whenever I think about it, it's in my voice. You can actually sense the fear in my voice, fear towards that loneliness which comes after all this mess.
Nutan, there are two, again, as I said, there are choices, but also I will tell you one thing, there are two ways of looking at life. As I said earlier, that I'm completely alone. I don't have anyone with whom I can share my daily life. I have to do everything on my own, and there is no one who would hug me or who would kiss me or to whom I go at the end of the day and say, okay, I had a day like this, like this, like this. Or you can otherwise think that, okay, I'm content because I have my own self. I still have this beautiful life and I still have a chance to make it the way I want. It was my dream and passion to be into acting. It was my dream and passion to be a filmmaker and producer. And life has given me this second chance where I don't have to actually think twice before making my dreams come true. So there are two ways. Yes, the loneliness you will feel because it's our heart, it's our mind. We are human. We are going to feel lonely. But actually, if you understand that this is your journey, ये journey आपकी है, जो आप feel कर रहे हो, whatever you are doing in your life. Yeah, sure, Praveen, please. If you feel you can answer it.
You finish it. Once you finish, then I would like to answer.
Okay. So, Nutan, it's your own journey. And if you feel lonely, just count your blessings. Count what you have in your life. Yes, there was a point in time when I was feeling very lonely and I did not want to get in touch with anyone. I did not want to talk to anyone. But that time, after maybe I think 4 or 5 days, this was about 2 years back when, of course, after I went through my divorce, I actually sat down and I wrote on a piece of paper what all I have in life and what are the things I need to be thankful for. And I practically wrote down, that I have a son, I have a house, I have food on my plate. With God's grace, I have good friends. And I wrote down each and every friend's name. I wrote down on Anu ma'am's name. All my mentors. I wrote down Anu ma'am's name, mom's name. And that is whenever I feel lonely. Even now, if I feel lonely, I take that paper, I read it, and that kind of, really supports me from inside. It holds me inside that, okay, I'm not alone. This universe is there. There are so many people and there are so many things that I'm thankful for.
You are really a brave heart. That's so courageous. Hats off to you. Lots of love and power to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think Praveen wanted to say something.
Yes, Parveen.
Yeah. Hi, Nutan.
Hi.
Okay, now this question ka answer I actually got from the very elderly people, because there was time when my business was not going anywhere, and I'm a very introvert kind of a person. I don't do networking too much. I be in my own space. So for me, it was like, and since childhood, it was like, the marriage and all was a taboo. एक लड़की को शादी करनी है and I am a kind of person, जब तक मेरे को मेरे हिसाब से नहीं मिलेगा मेरे को शादी नहीं करनी है. So that was the thing. So now there was a time in 2012 when the situations were very, I would say, worst, and that had actually transformed me 360 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that time I met with one of the auntie. She was in her late 60s or early 70s maybe. So I actually learned to live from her. I actually learned to express from her. So I was kind of a person, if in case I'm facing something, I would never go and tell to anyone. I was a kind of person. Forget about the guys, even a female would hug me, I'll be like, why are they touching me? I was that kind of a person. No one knows about it, but I was that kind of a person. So I had a habit of, with elderly people of sitting and she also used to enjoy. She also used to give her this thing. Then post that I met my yoga sir. Even he had never married in his life, and I asked him. And at a certain point, I asked him, the lady, she was like, she was her husband passed away, and all the daughters were married, all the three daughters, and she used to stay alone in a 3 BHK. And so for her earning, because she has this never want to ask a penny from her daughter, she always wanted to be her own, so she had kept a PG in her house. So that's how her earning was there, and she was on her own terms. Still at the age of 70, she used to go for a movie. She had a kitty party, she had everything, and she always every morning she will be like, she's like, I love myself,
Yeah,
I'm doing it for myself.
Parveen,
That is
exactly.
one thing. So
Yeah,
that one thing about loving yourself is I learned from her. Then I come to my yoga sir. Even with him also I've learned the same thing. If you are there with yourself, if you start loving yourself, you don't need anyone else.
correct.
So the first thing is you need to learn, you need to enjoy your life in within your own space. If you're free, you read books, you do whatever you are free to. आप अकेले में आप कैसे भी डांस करो तो कोई कुछ नहीं बोलेगा.
Can I say something, guys?
Yeah.
If
Uh,
Ashwini wasn't alone in her marriage and she didn't feel alone, she wouldn't have got out of it.
yeah,
So this question actually in many ways is not relevant because she wasn't lonely. She isn't lonely now. She was lonely then.
I was lonely in middle of so many people
Yeah.
in a joint.
She was lonely then, and that's why she didn't want to live. She
Yeah.
isn't lonely now. And that's the difference. We think when people are surrounded by people that they are not lonely. We could be surrounded by everyone and yet be lonely. And right now, because this is our mindset that, if the girl is not married, she's lonely, that may not be the story at all.
That really makes sense.
Anu ma'am, I would take this
It's taking
question.
a
Israr Khan has asked how easy or difficult is it to trust again, and Pupi has also asked a question. Israr ji, yes, it is difficult to trust again, but what the heck? I mean, this is life, and you
तकदीर बिल्कुल वैसे नहीं लिख के लेके आते हैं कि एक ही तरीके से होनी चाहिए.
हाँ,
बदलती रहती है.
अनु मैम, आई थिंक अगर हम अपने आप को ट्रस्ट करते हैं ना, तो किसी और को ट्रस्ट करे नहीं करे ये मायने नहीं रखता है उतना. आप अपने आप को ट्रस्ट करो कि अगर मेरी लाइफ में कुछ भी है या कोई दूसरा इंसान आ रहा है, तो have that faith on yourself that you will take the correct call which is in alignment with your life and your soul.
Absolutely. So Ashwini, this is
Yeah.
where I have deep regard for you. And now you know, guys, why I started this new segment. It's called She Inspires. He inspires. If you have an inspirational story and you think you can be on this forum, do connect with me and I will put you on. We will call Binayfer right now to do cards for Ashwini, and then I will run with my session because I'm really wanting to give you guys something really interesting after this, and we'll just kind of connect the two things together. So, Binayfer, are you there, my dear?
Anu ma'am, can I just say only one line? Because there is one person had just asked something, and I would really want to answer to her.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Asked me on the chat. I just want to say one thing, that right now, first establish a relation with your own self, sweetheart. First, understand your own self and make a relationship with your own inner self. Then think of having relationship outside with someone else. That is what I would say. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now we can go ahead with Benifer.
Ashwini, I have a request to you. I
Yes.
will not be able to manage Facebook messages on my Facebook.
Okay.
Will you be able to see the Facebook and answer them on my behalf over there when I'm doing the session?
Want to do it right now?
Not just now, after Benifer's session. Till Benifer's session, I'll be able to manage.
I'll do that.
So I really, really thank you from the bottom of my heart, because your life touches many people's lives. And when you are transparent, you are authentic, you are real, people get it.
Yes.
When you are wearing a mask, it's almost like right now where we are wearing a mask and we are walking around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank
And when you have shed all the masks from your face, that's when the real you comes in. And that's what I call you inspire. Thank you very much, Ashwini, for being amazing and for being so beautiful. You. Thank you.
Thank you.
So